Assalamu alaikum everyone, it's Yaman Alassaf, and today inshallah I will be explaining to you the first lecture in embryology in CVP, and today's lecture is all about the development of the heart. So you have to know before starting that it's like 3 facts about the embryology of the heart. So the heart is the first body system that is functional, and it's supplied from the autonomic nervous system, and finally it's on this 22nd day that the heart starts beating. Okay, so as you all know, in our heart we find like 4 parts: the left atrium, the right atrium, the right ventricle, and finally the left ventricle. So inshallah today we will see how we got these like 4 parts of our heart, and how we got the position of the heart like going towards the left. So we took in FND that from the epiblast we will be getting 3 layers: the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. So today we will be focusing on the lateral mesoderm. As you can see here in the photo, we have like 2 heart tubes. So like you can see, you have like 2 hearts on the lateral mesoderm, and these 3 layers will start to fold to form finally like a cylinder or like a tube. So these heart tubes will join, and together will form one heart tube called the endocardial heart tube. So let's move on to the next slide. So as you can see in front of you, there's this drawing of Dr. Paul. And we will take it as an example today to explain the endocardial heart tube. So as you can see in front of you, there's different parts of the endocardial heart tube of the endocardial heart tubes. Endocardial heart tube, my bad. So there's the sinus venosus, the atrium, the ventricle, the bulbus cordis, and finally the truncus arteriosus. So each one of these will get us a part of the heart. So let's start from the bottom, but before that you have to know that the blood flows from down to up, so from the sinus venosus to the truncus arteriosus. So these 2, atrium proper and sinus venosus, will give us the right atrium. And you have to know that in the right atrium there's 2 parts: a smooth part and a rough part. So for the rough part it will come from the atrium proper, and the sinus venosus will give us the smooth part. Then for the ventricle, we will be getting mainly the left ventricle, and from the bulbus cordis we will be getting the right ventricle. And finally, from the truncus arteriosus we will be getting some vessels like the aorta and the pulmonary arteries. But as you can see, there's like one part of the heart that is missing, which is the left atrium, and this part was mentioned by Dr. Paul like 2 or 3 times. And you have to know that this part is not coming; it will not come from the endocardial heart tube or endocardial tube, but we will be seeing it in the next lecture, inshallah. So let's not focus on it and start by going through these parts of the endocardial tubes. So let's start with the sinus venosus. As you can see, there's like 6 veins, or you can say like 3 veins, and we have a left one and a right one for each one of these. So the vitelline vein, the umbilical vein, and finally the common cardinal vein. So the vitelline vein will come from the intestine, and the umbilical vein we took it in FND, and finally we have the common cardinal vein. So the oxygenated blood will go through the umbilical vein, but the deoxygenated blood will be going mainly like by the common cardinal vein and the vitelline vein. So let's start by the common cardinal vein. As you can see, in this common cardinal vein, we have like an anterior part and a posterior part. So from each one of these, we will be getting one vein. And these are the main veins that we have in our body. So from the anterior part, we will be getting the superior vena cava, and from the posterior part, we will be getting the inferior vena cava. And you have to know that we have only one superior vena cava and one inferior vena cava. So we can't have two like superior vena cava. So that's why this left part, or this left common cardinal vein, will disappear. Okay. Then we have two parts here called the right horn and the left horn. So we know that for the right atrium, the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava goes directly into it. So we don't really need like a right horn, or we don't really have it now in our bodies as adults. That's why it will disappear also. But for the left horn, it will give us the coronary sinus. Okay. So in some pathological or in some patients, you can see some some problems with getting two superior vena cava. So when you have two superior vena cava, this left part, or this left common cardinal vein, it will not disappear and it will persist, and that will cause this problem. So the second, or the left superior vena cava, will join and go through the coronary sinus. You have to know this, okay? And finally, about this slide, you have to know that the right umbilical vein will disappear, but the left one will persist. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide, and let's start by understanding the position of the heart. So why our heart is really pointing towards the left. So as you can see in this photo, it summarized everything I said before. So first of all, we have these two heart tubes that will join together to give us one endocardial tube. Then this endocardial tube that consists from the sinus venosus, then we have the atrium proper, then we will be getting the ventricle, and etc. Okay, so then this endocardial tube will start by binding. So when it binds, it will change its form, or it will put the atrium and the atrium proper, or the right atrium, it will go towards the posterior view, and the ventricles will be in an anterior view. So this binding, you can say, will form one sinus, or one place, and this place is called the transverse pericardial sinus. Okay. So then it will continue to bind to give us finally the apex and the base back there. So the apex will be by binding, the apex will be pointing towards the left, and that's why we say the apex goes is pointing towards the left. And that's it all about the position and the endocardial tube. Merci and au revoir.